best player I played with. There's only one name for me whenever I can think, and that's Fourie du Preez.
Du Preez takes quickly, goes, try!
He knows exactly what to do, but at least 5 seconds before he's actually executing it.
From 2007 to 2010, I think he was the most influential rugby player in the world.
Du Preez, a little space for him. Can he go all the way? Unbelievable!
He is and will be regarded as one of the greatest nines that has played the game.
After a stellar schoolboy career for the Witbulla of Offies, Fourie du Preez moved into the ranks of professional rugby with his home side, the Blue Bulls. He made his first senior appearance during the 2001 season. The Union was battling, consistently claiming the wooden spoon in Super Rugby and failing to challenge for Currie Cup honours. It was at this point that the new coach Heineke Meyer's philosophy began to change the franchise's fortunes.
Yeah, I think Heineke was actually very conservative, especially when he started off with us. We had a certain way we played under Heineke that was, we kick to the corners, we struggle guys, they don't get out of their half. We had a very good line out as well. And then with a guy like Fourie and Mornestein and Derek Hougaard at 10, we had a kicking game that no one could live with us. So it was all about putting them in their area, having a great defensive system and making turnovers of that and score turnovers.
Victor Matfield was a vital cog during the Meyer era at Loftus.
I think the one thing about Heineke is he can really pick talent. So he went out and he got the 20, 30 best youngsters he believed in the country that can come to the Bulls and that will be the best team in the world. I remember in 2002 we went on a camp where we all sat down and he said, listen, this is my aim. I want to be the best team in the world. And not just the best team in South Africa, the best team in the world. That might mean we're going to lose 1 or 2 or struggle 1 or 2 seasons because I'm going with these youngsters. You guys are the future. I'm going to back you. And yeah, like I say, he went out, he picked a few guys, a guy like Bakkies Botha came in, Dani Rousseau, Fourie du Preez, Pedro Vandenberg. There were so many youngsters that he got from outside. And yeah, he played them very early and he gave us a dream and we followed it and we made a big success of it.
Yes, I think we had such a privilege in that time to play under Heineke Meyer. I mean, he came on board, had a tough start at the Bulls. I remember he was saying he had security guards around him to protect him where they were throwing him with oranges, etc. Couldn't get to his car safely in the first year or two. But I do think that he stuck to his guns in how he wants to play, who is the guys that he wants in the team, and that really set the base of going forward. He immediately started contracting players that he wants to partner with. He always said that he would contract players that's built on character rather than ability.
Together with Johan Roos, another key component of the Bulls' revolution came at scrum half.
I think Heineke Meyer saw the potential in him very early on. Joos was still then obviously involved, he was still captain. He was at the end of his career and we always knew that Fourie had potential. You know, later in the time as he got involved, people started taking notice, including the players. You know, he's this youngster, I mean, he's got serious ability, understands the game, he's quiet, but when he speaks, it makes sense.
Fourie, I remember sitting in the auditorium, he sat on the left-hand side and he's a very good listener and you know, when he spoke, he always said the right things and things that made an impression. So when he spoke, everybody listened. And he always had the small little thing that could make a big difference. And, you know, that's how I'll remember him. You know, some movement here or some switch or some line that he proposed that came through in big games.
We started right at the bottom. Heineke had his vision of this team going somewhere. We sort of started off slowly, but with a lot of talent. Started off very conservative, and as we started winning games, became a little bit more adventurous. I always tried to adapt to what's best for the team. I could still live out my sort of whatever I felt was best for the team, but as I grew older, that sort of expanded, and I did more my own thing. But yeah, we were very structured, but in that structure we sort of called it a decision-making game. And obviously when you're young, you're not that experienced, and you sort of do your own thing, and it doesn't always work, so you get a little bit of flack for that. But as you get older and you get a little bit wiser, and those things sort of pay off at the end.
Things began to pay off quickly for Fourie as he started his first Currie Cup final in 2003, as the Bulls sought to defend their trophy in front of their home fans.
In 2003, you went through to winning the Currie Cup. What are your memories of that Currie Cup, and in particular the Currie Cup final?
Yeah, so 2003 against the Sharks, just a great game. A lot of a Super Rugby team went to the World Cup, so we were sort of still a very young team. So it was a great campaign, one that I've got fond memories, and I'll have it for the rest of my life.
Roots looking to join the back line, as he always does, and he's done it beautifully. Now has a chance, Passens, the switch, beautifully executed. Well, he deserves it, does Fourie du Preez.
I was lucky enough to sort of get the ball from a switch from Gavin Passens. I didn't do much, I just sort of changed the angle.
And there's the final whistle then. So the Bulls have won this encounter, and Heineke Meyer, nobody but him, will be so thrilled about this victory. He's fought a lone battle over many years. He's had a difficult time.
The ABSA man of the match, there he is, Fourie du Preez. This is a tradition at Loftus. Looks like scrum halves are man of the match quite often here. US van der Western so many times, you must be very proud.
Ja, ek is ongelooflik trots. Dit is uiteraard 'n span poging geweest. En vir al die mense, ons het baie dankie gesê.
I don't think you can have a lot of that from a lot of other guys that can have their first Currie Cup final at that young age and be man of the match. And he really had a phenomenal season, and to have a Currie Cup final then was big for us then, and we played well. We had a good season, and I really think Fourie from there on grew to make a big difference, in South African rugby and world rugby.
With Fourie's star on the rise, the Bulls and Springboks bade farewell to another great scrum half in Just van der Westhuizen. Derek Hooghart had the privilege of being fly half to both.
Give me a comparison between Just and Fourie.
Yeah, I think they should make a movie about me, the lucky one, because I was actually fortunate enough to play with Just van der Westhuizen and Fourie du Preez, probably the two best scrum halves that ever lived in South Africa.
Who had the better pass?
Well, Fourie du Preez, I would say, and just because we always joke about it, that one Samoa game that just passed the ball looked like an up and under. They almost decapitated me. But Fourie du Preez's service behind the scrum was unbelievable, and the way he made the decisions and the accuracy of his pass and the speed of the pass was just phenomenal.
He's always been a little bit different than Just van der Westhuizen. Just always got stuck in very physical for a 9, where Fourie is just about organising and letting everyone else around him look very good.
I think both of them were freaks of nature, and how glad am I, and how lucky are we to have seen them play.
Fourie, in January of 2004, you had a real personal tragedy where your best buddy was killed in a motor accident. Obviously a bad time for you. How did you handle that?
Yeah, it was always one of the worst times of my life. Myself and Swat played primary cricket together, went to office together. We played 9-10, we played 50 games for the first team together. Played SA 21, SA 19 together. We won the Currie Cup in 2003, so it was just a massive, massive blow. And yeah, it was very tough. It was tough to get through it. Luckily, on my side, I had a lot of support, but yeah, just it was more for everyone that knew him, his parents, and everyone. It was just such a tragic event. My son's middle name is Francois, so it's Fourie du Preez, and yeah, so hopefully
his memory lives on.
Definitely.
I've got a sort of good, great memories about Francois and Fourie, and they were best mates. And even when they left school, they were always together. And in terms of playing rugby, they were fantastic. Playing 2 years for the Affies first team, and playing a few games for various teams across the country. So fantastic mates, and yeah, was fond memories of Swayze.
Later that year, the Blue Bulls family celebrated their third successive Currie Cup title as du Preez began to stamp his authority on the team.
I don't think he ever played below 90%. I can't really remember a bad game of Fourie. I think he had a natural feel for the game. He understood the scoreboard, he understood field position, and he understood, the ups and downs of a rugby game. He knew when to kick, he knew when to run, and he knew when to pass. And I think that's what sets him apart from a lot of players that played the game.
Unfortunately, on one occasion, the normally rock-solid du Preez came unstuck.
Your record in Currie Cup finals, played 5, won 3, lost 2. Talk to me about the losses.
Yeah, so obviously our first one was the 2005 debacle against the Cheetahs. Basically, the whole Currie Cup was quite easy for us. The final was just one of those games where things didn't really go our way. But in the end of the day, we were in front. We got a yellow card. They scored.
What will the Cheetahs produce now? Can they pull off the first victory ever in a Currie Cup final against the Bulls? Wilshik with the bomber. Roots commits. Oh no, look at this. Meyer Bosman has put the Cheetahs in the lead.
They had a box kick and myself and Roots sort of bumped into each other and Meyer Bosman scored.
Yeah, it was all Fouerie's fault. Yeah. No, it's funny now to talk about it. That's what 10 years later, 11 years later. In the initial years, it was not so as funny as now. 2005 was probably our best year in a Currie Cup setup. We had a flawless Currie Cup, didn't lose one game until the final. We were dominating the game in the final. They kicked her up and under, where Fourie was well established under the ball. And I called for the ball. But obviously with noise there, at the time of the game, it was quite intense. Fourie didn't hear it, and I didn't see that he didn't move. So all of that disaster, when we wiped our eyes out, we were both lying on the floor.
So that sort of 5-10 minutes experience and post that was quite tough. Up until that stage, sort of my whole rugby career, most of things went smoothly. We won most of the things we played in. So it was a tough lesson to learn. I'm not happy it did happen, but I learned a lot from it. Us as a team learned a lot from it. And the thing is, you just want to get back onto the field and sort of rectify it. And I think I only rectified once we won Super Rugby and then the 2009 final.
After the break, we see how du Preez and the Bulls took this setback in their stride and continued on their quest of becoming one of the most dominant provincial sides in the game.